What's up, everybody? So I've had a few people ask me about my camera setup, so I'm going to show you that here today. Also, I'm going to link everything that you'll need in the description below. It should take you straight to Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you could probably get it in the next day or two, and it'll definitely level up your recording experience. So let's go. All right, as you can see, I turned off my lighting so that way it doesn't blind you. But this is the camera that I have right here. It's the Sony a7S III, and I have it connected to a Delkin, I believe it's called a Gecko. And anyways, I have it right there on my mirror, so that way I can just move it. Before I had it on the stand, and that was a good setup. However, I do like this setup a little bit better because it's just right over my shoulder, and I can just reach up and adjust it wherever I want it to be. And it's working really well. So anyways, then I have my iPad Pro on the stand, as you can see. And then I can just move that wherever I need to see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you kind of the setup right now. There again, connected right here. This is over my shoulder. I can put it directly on the head or wherever I'm cutting with the lens that I have. I can't remember the name of it. Let's see if the name is on there. It's a Tamron 28 to 75. It's the G2 version. There's a G1 and G2. The G2 is better quality. So anyways, as you can see, if you watch, I can zoom in and I can see everything that I'm doing right there on my iPad screen. The reason I like to use the iPad is simply because most people are watching on an iPhone. So I like to, just know what my colors are gonna look like. So if I had it on a regular TV screen or a different monitor, sometimes it doesn't show you the same colors. So I can kind of adjust my colors the way I like them and the way they're gonna be viewed on an iPad or iPhone. So there again, camera, suction cup to my iPad. So now this doesn't just link up automatically. You do have to have an app, and I'm gonna show you that. But I want you to see that you can set on the iPad, you can set your frames per second, your shutter speed, all those things, the ISO. You can also, do your white balance and everything. What I like about this app as well is I can go ahead and hit record and it'll start recording. So I don't have to keep reaching up, grabbing the camera. I can just go ahead and hit it right there. There is an option, I haven't quite figured it out, that'll record straight to my camera, my SD card, which is, what I do anyways. But there is an option that's supposed to save it to your camera, your SD card, and to the iPad. Excuse me, it really hasn't worked yet. But either way, goes to my SD card and I can go ahead and deal with that, at the house on the computer. So this right here is your zebras. Man, it just has all kind of functions. If you want to record with the bars, you can have that option. And anyways, you can set how big you want the bars. If you want, to see, dude, it's got everything, man. If you want to go ahead and record, in that C log or S log or whatever, that flat profile, you can upload your own LUT, your custom LUT in there, and then you can basically hit this cube right here and it will upload your LUT. You're still going to be recording on the camera, in the S log or C log. However, you can at least see what it looks like with your LUT on it, so it looks normal. Anyways, yeah, so there's just so many cool functions to this app. There again, if I want to change my white balance, I just click on it and I can adjust anything that I want to adjust. It's just fire, man, it's fire. So let's turn that off. On my camera, usually I like to have a button right here on the side, and I set this button right here. I set it to the autofocus or manual focus. So whenever I'm recording, let me see, like this right here, as you can see, it's on autofocus, so it's focusing on my face. Once it's focused on the client's head, then I just simply reach up and I just tap the button. And when I tap the button, as you can see, it says manual focus now. So my focus is locked. So if I'm cutting and my hand gets in the way, my hand's gonna stay blurry, but the client's head is going to stay in focus. And then whenever I turn the chair, I just reach up, I tap the button. As you can see, autofocus now. And anyways, you see the little square there? I make sure that they're in there, readjust it, hit the button again, boom. Now we're at manual focus. So anyways, I love the fact that I don't have to keep looking up over my shoulder at this tiny little screen. I can just kind of glance over, make sure everything is focused, that everything looks good, the colors look good. And on my lens, I have, oh man, I forget what they call this thing. But anyways, it's basically it's the sunglasses for your camera. That's what everybody describes it as. But you can adjust it, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if I want to brighten it up, I'm just turning it, see? If I want to brighten it up, I can do that. If I want to darken it, I can do that. So obviously with my lights on in here, it gets super bright, and then I can adjust it to get that good look that I like. A lot of people, they'll be like, dude, I love how black your blacks are and the colors and stuff. Well, part of that is because I have this filter on here that I can adjust my, the shadows to get that black look. Also, I do some, obviously in post type stuff. But yeah, so let me go over this real quick with you. Let's go ahead and see what the app that I'm using is. So this is the app right here that I'm using, hard to focus. And it's called Monitor Plus, but that's the logo. So when you download it, that's the app I'm using, Monitor Plus. And it's not for Canon cameras, it is only for Sony cameras. I'm not sure if there is something like this for Canon or other cameras, but this is specifically for Sony cameras. So let me go out of here again. As you can see, when I touched it, I could also, let me open that up. So right now, just whenever I touched it, it removed all the camera options and it's just a clean, I can touch it again. Well, how did I do that? Okay, I just swipe up and swipe down. So swipe down, it goes away. Swipe up, boom, there you are. Man, I use this, if I'm recording at the house or whatever, it's just easy. I love it. So there again, that's the Monitor Plus app in the App Store, and it's for Sony cameras. So now people ask me about the stand setup. As you can see, I do have this stand, and now this is not a monopod. So I wouldn't be looking for it on Amazon. It's simply a boom arm stand or a mic stand. And the reason I went with this, I had this boom arm and the arm would come off and hold a boom mic. I took that off and I just use this stand because I love the way it opens at the bottom. It keeps it kind of out of my way. And it's not, one of the stands that have the big adapters that go up here and they're all in your way and you're tripping over it. These lay pretty flat, but also really sturdy to hold the camera or the iPad. So there again, I did have the camera on this, and let me show you the back of it real quick. As you can see, I do have a ball head on there. Now I have this little adapter, I'll put the link in there. But yeah, I just put this little HDMI, USB-C, USB adapter, all that in there. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to be able to run this cord right here, this USB-C, out of this and connect to my iPad. Now, let me say this. I do have another iPad, an older one that has the lightning port. Unfortunately, I cannot get that one to work because it has to be either like a newer iPhone or you have to have the right adapter. I did buy an adapter on Amazon that would go from a USB-C to the lightning port. I just don't know, it didn't work. I'm assuming it's because it doesn't transfer data, that little adapter. So I'm gonna order another one because I'd prefer to have my old iPad in here. It's the same size, but that way I can just keep this one in my bag when I'm traveling, doing whatever I'm doing, and I can keep that iPad just here all the time. But there again, and then this right here, I think it's called an iShot, and it's just a little adapter that you can pull it out. It's spring loaded and you can lock it onto your iPad. And I have that, you know, on the mount so I can adjust it how I want. But I run the cord, the USB-C cord, into this and then into that. And the reason I wanted this is because, see, what happens is right now, let me show you. As you can see right now, there is no power running into my iPad or into my camera. Now you gotta be real careful with the whole camera situation because you don't want to mess anything up. So I do have this USB-C adapter and I just plug it right into the power spot on this. So I plug in the power. Let me make sure it's plugged in. All right, it's snapped in. And now we got power running to the iPad. And check it out. You can see the little, let me back up, plug icon on that. So it keeps my camera charged and it keeps my iPad charged. So that's dope. Now let me say, I have fried one of these A7S III cameras before with the dummy battery. They do not recommend using a dummy battery. So I looked around and I was like, man, like what can I do to charge this thing and not blow it up or fry it? So what I have here is in my drawer, I have this power bank and I'll link the power bank as well. Let me see where the name is at on this thing. It's kind of in there, it says 65 watt. But this power bank, it will actually adjust the power to what the specs are for the camera. Like whenever I just plug it straight into my camera. I do not know if it's giving the right wattage to my camera, which I'm really concerned about. That's something I definitely want to know. But it does give the right power for my iPad, which then in turn charges this. And I will say this, I've been doing it for quite some time now, and I haven't had a problem frying my camera at all. So that is a good thing. If you need to see how I link this up as far as in the camera settings, if you have a Sony, just let me know and I'll do that. But yeah, so we got the camera. We got the Delkin 3-cup suction cup mount going to this on the stand, and you've seen all that. Now, I will say before, let me go look in my bag real quick. All right, I always keep a bag around with just all kind of camera equipment and adapters and stuff. Now, whenever I was using, before I used this mount, I had my camera sitting on that ball head, and then I had everything zip tied, and then I used this little mount right here. So this mount, it adjusts, it just clips on, and I'll put the link in the description also. But it just, you know, links onto the pole anywhere I want it to be, and you can switch it out where you have two of these, one on this side, one on the other side, but it comes with the option of this little head as well. So that way you can just mount on the iPad adapter, and then you can have that right underneath your camera set up. And then you just move this around wherever you want it. And obviously, because it's a mic stand, you can adjust it however you want it. So anyways, for everyone that's been asking, that is my camera setup. Once again, I love it there because I can just reach up, adjust it how I want. I can hit play or record and stop on here, and I can visualize everything, make any kind of adjustments I need on my screen versus having to reach up and change all that. So it's amazing, man. It is amazing. So that's the video. I hope that you guys liked the information that I gave, and somehow it can be a blessing to you and help you up your video production. Until next time, God bless you guys. Peace. I'm out of here.